2021 brought us an amazing year of blockbuster hits, but what can we expect to see during our start of the new year? I'm your host, High Definition, here to share with you just that. But before I continue, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more new film releases. Starting on January the 4th, we start with The Super Deep for horror sci-fi fans. In The Super Deep, viewers can experience seeing the largest drilling project in the world as Russians attempt to drill as far as possible into the Earth's crust. When they reach depths of nearly 7 miles below the surface, unexplained sounds resembling the screams and moans of people are reported and the borehole is shut down. A small team of scientists and military personnel then set out to unearth the source of the strange sounds, but not before they end up discovering the greatest threat that humanity has ever faced. Catch The Super Deep on video on demand and digital options January 4th. Moving on to January 7th, we have The 355, an action thriller detailing a top secret weapon falling into mercenary hands. CIA agent Mason Mace Brown, played by Oscar-nominated actress Jessica Chastain, will need to join forces with a rival German agent, played by Diane Kruger, former MI6 ally and computer specialist Khadija, played by Lupita Nyong'o, hope I'm saying that right, and skilled Colombian psychologist Graciela, played by Penelope Cruz. We even have Sebastian Stan up in here. We can expect this amazing group of female actresses to embark on a lethal mission to retrieve this top secret weapon, while also staying one step ahead of a mysterious woman who actually is tracking their every move. Apparently, this will be another globe-trotting adventure as the characters traverse from the cafes of Paris to the markets of Morocco to the wealth and glamour of Shanghai. Will they all forge a loyalty that could protect the world, or will it get them killed? I personally am interested to find out myself. The 355 releases nationwide on January 7th. On the same day, we have The Legend of La Llorona. For the horror fans out there, similar to other pieces of media of similar names, the film shows us another look at the spirit looking for vengeance, La Llorona. When the spirit stalks a young family visiting Mexico, Andrew, Carly, and their son Danny travel to an isolated hacienda in Mexico for a much-needed vacation. As they enter the town, the family sees signs of missing children. They later learn of the legend of La Llorona, being the evil spirit of a distraught mother who lurks near the water's edge and strikes fear in the hearts of all who see her. The spirit torments the family, snatching Danny and trapping him in a netherworld between the living and the dead. The family is aided by a resourceful taxi driver named Jorge, played by Danny Trejo, and they race to save their only child while navigating a countryside held by menacing cartel thugs. But while gaining strength and power, La Llorona leaves a path of death and destruction in her wake. Although a secret from Carly's past may provide an opportunity to finally defeat the spirit. Catch The Legend of La Llorona on limited theatrical releases, also on January 7th. Next up, we have an action movie titled The Commando, starring Michael Jai White and Mickey Rourke. An elite DEA agent, played by White, returns home after a failed mission when his family discovers a stash of money worth $3 million. They soon face the danger and threat of a newly released criminal, played by Rourke, and his crew, who will do whatever it takes to retrieve the money, including kidnapping the agent's daughters. Stakes get high and lives become at risk in this head-to-head battle as the main character stops at nothing to protect his family against money-hungry criminals. The Commando also releases on January 7th in a limited theatrical release. Next up is American Siege, an action-adventure starring Timothy V. Murphy and Bruce Willis. An ex-NYPD officer turned sheriff of a small Georgia town must infiltrate a building filled with heavily armed terrorists who have taken a wealthy doctor hostage. American Siege releases also on January 7th on video on demand and digital platforms. Next, we have The Kindred, a psychological horror film telling the story of a young mother investigating what led to her father's suicide. But When she's haunted by spirits and unearths an unsolved mystery from 30 years ago, she discovers a dark family history that could prove deadly for her child. The Kindred releases January 7th on a limited theatrical release. Next up, we have an original Amazon film titled A Hero. It tells the story of a man in jail for a debt he hasn't been able to pay. During a 2-day leave, he tries to convince his creditor to withdraw his complaint in exchange for paying back part of the debt. Our main character is then confronted with the crisis he would never have imagined. Expect A Hero on limited theatrical releases January 7th and on Prime Video on January 21st. Following that, we have King Car, a sci-fi thriller about a young man's ability to be one and speak to cars. When an invention he creates unintentionally speeds up the underlying problems of the community, our hero's journey must grow bigger than his own personal ambitions, and a fight for survival ensues with the zombies of capitalism. With an interesting synopsis like that, I'm actually wondering what to expect here. King Car makes its limited theatrical run January 7th. Next, we have June Again, a dramatic comedy telling about a twist of fate, giving a family matriarch a reprieve from a debilitating illness. This matriarch, June, re-enters the lives of her adult children and learns that things haven't gone according to plan. With limited time but plenty of luck, she sets about trying to put everything and everyone back on track. When her meddling backfires, June sets out on a romantic journey of her own and discovers she needs help from the very people she was trying to rescue. June Again releases January 7th on a limited theatrical release. Finally, we have a pretty interesting film in my opinion. See For Me is a suspenseful thriller telling the story of Sophie, a young blind woman house sitting at a secluded mansion. She eventually finds herself under invasion by thieves seeking a hidden safe. Her only means of defense is a new app called See For Me, which connects her to a volunteer across the country who helps her survive by seeing on her behalf. Sophie is connected to Kelly, an Army veteran who spends her days playing first-person shooter games. Sophie is soon forced to learn that if she's going to survive the night, she'll need all the help she can get. See For Me releases January 7th in a limited theatrical release. Well everyone, that's all the new movies this week that we can expect to grace both our TV screens and our movie theaters. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and ring the bell to be notified about all things new in the movie world each and every week. I'll see you all on the next one.